Hello, Namaskar, and welcome back to Updated Bharat. Venezuela, a beautiful country with something for everyone. It is home for Angel Falls, one of the world's tallest waterfalls, along with vast Amazon forests, towering Andes fold mountains, and lovely sun-kissed Caribbean beaches. Its people have warm and lively Latin culture, filled with music and festivals, and beneath the ground lies the greatest asset, the largest crude oil reserves in the world. Everyone would think the world's largest reserve means richness and prosperity, but Venezuelan people wake up battling hyperinflation, political turmoil, and on May 24th, they saw their ground splitting beneath their feet. Two massive earthquakes, 7.2 and 7.5 magnitude, just 39 seconds apart, killed 1,400 people, injured 5,300, and left thousands missing and homeless. Venezuelan past and present. They have been endured with severe economic crisis marked by hyperinflation. A staple food like bread costs 1050 bolivars in Venezuelan currency. That's just 30 rupees in Indian currency. You can imagine the hyperinflation. Widespread shortages, mass emigration, political instability have become their way of life. Being blessed with the world's largest crude oil reserve, yet ending up here because of monofactor economic culture. They focused only on crude oil and never diversified their income. Their crude oil is also sour, which increases the cost of production. In short, it means years of mismanagement, sanctions, corruption under the government collapsed their economy. Inflation has reduced comparatively, but their economy is still under life support.
Long walk to face the wrath of American justice for Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia.
At start of 2026, a dramatic escalation took place. US forces captured Nicolas Maduro, president of Venezuela, in a military operation and flew him back to New York on charges of narco-terrorism, cocaine trafficking, and weapons offenses tied with an alleged alliance with drug cartels and terrorist groups. Many called it kidnapping. Amid this ongoing turmoil, Venezuela faced twin earthquake, 7.2 and 7.5 magnitude within a minute, the strongest in centuries. Reports of thousands missing and dead. Buildings collapsed, road cracked, panic filled the streets of Caracas and beyond. The death toll may sadly rise further. Was it natural or man-made? Theories and assumptions started floating that US nuclear tests had caused the earthquake. It reminds me of a quote, "For every mishap in the world, blame Trump or USA." Even though I'm not saying USA and Trump have never created problems, this earthquake was natural. Nuclear tests can cause earthquakes, but tremors caused by nuclear testing and natural earthquakes are different. The Venezuelan earthquake was 10 km deep. Usually shallow earthquake disrupts more on surface. The seismic pattern was complex and asymmetric, entirely consistent with strike-slip-fault movement. Aftershocks continued for days. The USGS, United States Geological Survey, traced both events and found geological phenomena behind all of this. The Caribbean tectonic plate and South American plate have been grinding against each other at 20 mm per year. 100 to 200 years of geological tension was released in 39 seconds. This was not out of blue. Last year there was 6.2 and 6.3 magnitude earthquakes in the same region. What is doublet earthquake? Two earthquakes in Venezuela, geologists called it a doublet earthquake. Geologically unusual because normally one big earthquake is followed by aftershocks. Venezuelan one was rare. A normal earthquake happens when tectonic plates constantly move and grind against each other along the fault lines. Stress accumulates, eventually they rupture and release stored energy as seismic waves. That is the first jolt, followed by smaller tremors. Geologists believe that these two major doublet occurred because of Venezuelan northern fault is not a single clean fault. It's complex networks of interconnected faults and fractures, moving 10 to 20 mm every year. When first ruptured, it sent stress cascading through their network, triggering a second rupture on a neighboring fault in less than a minute. One broke another. This is technically called Coulomb stress transfer. Even though two earthquakes' epicenter were within few kilometers of each other, but their focus or hypocenter were different. One was at 21.9 km depth, another one was 10 km depth, on different fault structures entirely. This is a major reason geologists believe that these are two ruptures on two different faults. Even with today's technological advancement, world's best geologists and seismologists cannot point out at one fault and say this will cause a doublet earthquake or greatest earthquake, which can be destructive. In short, doublets are caused by Coulomb stress transfer, transferring stress from one rupture to another strong enough to trigger a fault on a neighboring network, combined with complex geometry of fault lines and interconnected networks and branches. Doublets are rare, around 2 out of 10 major earthquakes, and they usually spaced within hours, days, or months. But Venezuelan one was unique, very complex, and spaced within a minute. Why are earthquakes happening more often? Earthquakes are not new. They are part of Earth's cycle. We have simply started detecting it more because of technological advancement. Life on Earth emerged through complex planetary process. Volcanoes and plate tectonics are one among them. Earth keeps breaking and forming throughout its history. However, humans have aggravated the process slightly through climate change. Climate change has melted glaciers, causing imbalance in the weight distribution of water on land and sea, which changes pressure in asthenosphere. Mining and extraction, the creation of large reservoirs, depleting aquifers that were providing confining pressure to fault zones, all contribute to pressure on asthenosphere. Individually, these cannot trigger massive earthquakes, but faults that have already accumulated stress over decades only need a final nudge to rupture. Human activity does not need to create an earthquake from scratch. It needs to provide the last nudge to fault, which is already 99% ready. Prevention is better than cure. Being prepared for natural calamity can save lives. Japan is the best example. Japan moved few meters after 2011 earthquake. Earthquakes are common in Japan as it sits on Ring of Fire, the most seismically active zone on Earth. The 2011 earthquake was 9 magnitude, causing a tsunami, the fifth biggest earthquake in the world's history. It resulted in 20,000 deaths. Haiti's earthquake in 2010 was 7 magnitude and took 230,000 lives. 20,000 is not a small number, but it shows Japan's preparedness. The Japanese earthquake was 32 times more powerful, yet caused fewer deaths. The reduce in destruction could happen because, in 1981, Japan introduced strict construction codes with new seismic design standards for every building, including houses, offices, schools, and hospitals. Japan deploys base isolation technology for large and high-value structures. It acts like a shock absorber. Between the foundation and ground, they install layers of rubber and steel pads so that building sways but not crumble and collapses. Did you know Japan's bullet train, which travels in 320 km per hour, has never derailed even in major earthquakes? Rails have P-wave sensors, and train stops automatically before the destruction wave hits. Japan has early warning system. Even 10 seconds is enough to step away from a glass wall or shelf. Every school conducts regular disaster drills with children. Coming to India. According to the latest update of Bureau of Indian Standard Seismic Map released in 2025, 61% of India's landmass falls under moderate to high seismic hazard zones, home to 75% of India's population. India has even added Zone 6, a supercritical zone covering entire Himalayan arc. Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Sikkim and all northeastern India. It has been approximately 200 years since India was struck by a major earthquake in this region, similar to Venezuelan situation, with stress building over a century. The Indian plate is moving 47 mm into Eurasian plate every year. The Himalayan belt and Delhi have experienced many swarms of tremors in recent years. Even though we have now supercritical zone, do you think our infrastructures are ready to sustain a major earthquake? We cannot adopt the same policies of Japan. Our culture, population density, terrain and area are different. But what we can do is learn from our ancestors. The best example is 11th century's Kakatiya's Ramappa temple, which has survived earthquakes of 7.5 to 8.2 magnitude 300 to 400 years ago. It used sandbox technology. The Kakatiyas dug a pit of 3 meters deep and poured a mixture of sand, lime, jaggery, and karakaya fruit, which acted as a natural binder and hardening agent. Floating bricks. Built with bricks made up of husk, chaff, and clay. Once kilned, the bricks became porous and light enough to float on water. They were put in gopurams so that when there is an earthquake, ceilings don't fall due to their own heavy weight and cause casualties. Star-shaped foundation. It distributes structural load across multiple points rather than just four. India has survived Bhuj, Uttarkashi, Latur earthquakes before, but surviving is not same as being prepared. According to me, India must enforce strict building codes and construct disaster-resilient buildings, especially in seismic zone 6 areas. Equip schools, hospital, government office, public buildings with base isolation technology or sandbox technology. Improve early warning system, which is currently in nascent research stage. Conduct disaster preparedness drills in schools and offices. Learn from our architecturally marvelous ancient temples. Venezuela was hit hard by doublet earthquake, which sent warning to other countries to be prepared for future. India extended humanitarian aid to Venezuela under Operation Amistad, and other countries are helping too. 61% of India sits in medium to high seismic zone. It is not nature's fault if buildings collapse and people lose their lives. It is our mistake to not be prepared enough. Fixing smaller issues early prevent bigger problems later. A stitch in time saves 9. Comment down below your thoughts and suggestions. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Your subscription is bigger reward for our efforts. Thank you. Jai Hind. Every rainbow is born through a storm, and so is every survivor. After dust settles, humans rise.